Hi, my name is Nate Leslie, and welcome to Nate on Guitar. In this video, I'm going to be talking about playing in the key of G, and we're going to talk about two positions outside of these first three frets of the guitar where we're all familiar with playing in the key of G, and moving them up and playing in different shapes and different positions to give you some variety. And it's just a super valuable skill to be able to play the same thing, same chord changes, but in different voicings and different positions on the neck. It makes it more fun, makes what you're playing sound more interesting. You can blend with another guitar player who might be sticking to these standard open chords and make the whole sound be bigger because, you know, you're stacking different versions on top of each other. So that's what we're going to get to. We're going to explore two other, outside of these first three frets, two other positions that I use all the time when I'm playing chords in the key of G. So let's get to it. First thing that we're going to do is talk about what chords we're going to do. I'm going to be sticking to your G major, which is your root chord, your D, which is your 5 chord, an E minor, which is your 6, and your C2 usually, which is your 4 chord. G, D, E minor, C. And now we're going to play them in a completely different spot. So we're going to go up to the 10th and the 12th fret here. This is our root chord. This is a G chord. You're playing on the 10th fret with your index finger on the A string. We're muting the low E string with the thumb. We're muting the D string with the underside of our index finger. So of those first three strings, the only one you're hearing is that A string note. Open G. And then our pinky is playing the 12th fret on the B string. Once again, we're muting that high E string. So this chord is a little bit broken down. You only have 3 notes ringing out. A string, G string, D string. Technically 2 of the same G note, then the major third of the chord. The cool thing about these chords is that you're going to be playing combinations of notes on these same 2 strings. We're just going to slide down the neck and put them in different spots, and you're going to see how this works out. So we've got G. Let's slide down our bass note. We're going to slide down 3 frets, and our high note, our harmony note, is going to be on the 8th fret on the B string. 7th fret on the A string, 8th fret on the B string. Same muting here. Although technically, since this is an E minor chord, you could let that low E ring out and that high E ring out. That's totally fine. But for now, let's keep it consistent with the first chord. A string, G string, B string. G, E minor. Now we're going to slide them down again to our D. Our root note's going to slide from this E note to the 5th fret, which is a D. Our pinky is going to be on the 7th fret of the B string. Same consistent muting. Mute the low E, mute the D string. So you get your A string, G, and B string going here. Now we're going to slide this position down 2 frets for both of the notes to the 3rd and the 5th fret. And now we've got our C chord. Back up to D, E minor, G. So we can take this progression here, G, D, E minor, and C, and let's use these new chord shapes. G, bass note on the 10th fret, D, bass note on the 5th fret, bass note on the 7th fret for this E minor, down to the 3rd fret for the C. So 3 out of these 4 chords have the same shape relative to the fingers that you're holding down. Your G, you've got 1 fret in between. You're making this major 3rd interval. Same shape on your D, major 3rd interval. Also on the C. That E minors, you don't have a full fret gap. You've got this minor 3rd interval there. So that's the first set of 4 chords that you can play to replace your normal open G, D, E minor, and C. So different version. It's a lot of fun to play those. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about all the variations that you can do to each of those, and we're going to expand on that a little bit more. But for now, we're going to stick to those 4 chords, get comfortable with those positions. Now we're going to move to the second set of 4 alternate versions of these chords. So once again, we're going to do G, D, E minor, and C. Our starting root position here is going to look like this. 4th finger on the 10th fret of the A string. Middle finger on the 9th fret of the D string. Open G. Index finger, 8th fret of the B string. Pinky up on the 10th fret of the high E string, and we're going to mute the low E string. This is our G chord. This is our root chord. If you notice, it's the same shape as an open C. Slide it up to the 10th, 9th, and 8th frets, and now you've got a G chord, all based on this root note right here. Now we're going to move to a D chord. This is a little tricky. There's a little stretching involved here, but it sounds really good. Up to you. What we're going to do is we're going to pick up this ring finger. We're going to put on the 10th fret of the low E string, and we're going to mute the A string with the underside of this finger. Sounds totally fine. All we did was switch the bass note from this G to the D note on the low E string. I personally, a lot of times, will play this chord by sliding the index finger note on the 8th fret of the B string down to the 7th fret of the B string for a little bit of a different kind of a feel. This is one of the variations I'll talk about in the next video too. I'll go over this again. To go to our E minor chord, we're going to play the exact same position as our G. 10th, 9th, 8th, high E on the 10th fret. Except now we're going to open up that low E string and let this E bass note ring out. That's our E minor chord. So far we've got G, D, E minor. Now to play our C chord, we're going to use our thumb. Thumb gets involved here. We're going to grab the 8th fret on the low E string. Your ring finger is going to stay in the same spot, 10th fret on the A string. You can let go of the middle finger note. Index finger on the 8th fret of the B string, and pinky on the 10th fret of the high E string. Really cool sounding C chord. All right, that's a quick look at 2 new positions that you can play, all the same standard chords that you use in the key of G, just in different positions up the neck. So the next video, I'm going to talk about little variations, little finger movements you can do to add a little bit more interest and color to these chords. So thank you so much for watching. Check out nateleslie.com.